Just say the word, and our journey shall continue. It shall be done.
Melody's face is drawn. She seems tired, somewhat subdued. She looks you over and squints.
What's wrong with you? You seem happy. Indeed. Indeed, as they should. I've had some time to think, and there's a few matters I want to discuss before we carry on. I doubt you've forgotten the death of Meister Siva.
She swallows hard and closes her eyes for a moment, as though trying to dispel a dizzy...
I had a deal, you see. A deal that's now quite obviously defunct. According to its terms, I was to help you ascend to divinity, and she was to help me with another matter. The details aren't important now, it's just... never mind. Another entangling alliance. But I won't be able to disentangle it on my own. There may come a time when I need to count on you as an ally. So, are we? Allies, that is. The details are detailed. Suffice it to say that Meister Siva believed she could help me. And I believe you're twice the sorcerer she ever was. So? Imagine if I'd have said the same when Dallas was about to blow you to smithereens. Hang on. I found out where Dallas is heading. There's a great city not far from Driftwood, Arx by name. It's controlled by Magisters, so you'll have your work cut out for you. We have to find out what she's planning to do with the powers of the Seven. You'll need to find her and take back what she stole, and quickly, before she does something irreversible. Dallas, or any of the others for that matter, cannot be allowed to use the powers of the gods. She doesn't understand what must be done. She doesn't understand how to rule. It's quite simple, really. Chaos is a fact of life, surer than any other. Power is one of the few structures that can cut a line through that chaos. If wielded well, that line will mean stability, order, a comfort against the unknowable, changing forces of chaos. If wielded poorly, the line will mean domination, terror, different from chaos, but no better. Dallas, and the others like her, Alexander, the Mother Tree, the Prince of Shadows, they are little better than demons, really. They seek power at the expense of others, not to create stability, but to create servants. Look at my face, Godwoken. What do you see? I suppose we all see what we want to see. When I look in the mirror, I see balance. Balance between darkness and light, between good and evil. Whatever those categories mean. When the time comes for you to ascend, remember my face. Remember that despite any shortcomings you might have, if you can bring a semblance of balance to the world, you'll have done as good as the Seven did. And if you can be stronger than them, you'll do all the better. The Seven are gone, slain by their Godwoken, slain by you. You have the potential, the obligation even, to do better than they did, to create a better world than the world they made. I know what evil is, Godwoken. I've seen what chaos can do. It isn't how I picture Rivellon's future. You are my insurance against that. Now, there's little time to spare. We need to get you to Arx, find Dallas, take back what she stole. Shall we go? Very good. How lucky for you I'm on your side. I'm probably the only one masterful enough to transport an entire ship safely between the land of the dead and the land of the living. Captain Malady stands at the ready.
After the briefest moment of respite, Malady brought the Godwoken to Arx to recover the divine powers Dallas had snatched away. But the half-demon secret was taking its toll on her.
Lucian! Fools! The bastard's going to ruin everything! Brace! 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 Don't say anything.
Malady groans, her face twisting in pain. She falls to one knee, catching herself on her hands. She raises herself to her feet unsteadily.
Traveling between the realms isn't easy, you know. It takes something from my soul each time. But never you fear. I've pulled a clever trick out of my sleeve. The Lady Vengeance stands in two realms at once. Her body here, her soul in the Hall of Echoes. You can still return at your leisure. At least I got us where we wanted to go. This is Arx. This is where Dallas has fled with the powers of the gods. This is where the path to divinity leads. Dallas must be stopped. She has stolen the powers of the Seven. You'll need to get the Aetherin back if you're to fight the God King. You'll need it if you're to ascend. Track her in Arx. Find out where she's gone and end her. Take back the Aetherin and the powers of the gods with it. You cannot fail, Godwoken. Not for anything. Please, hurry along now. You'll need to find... That's for you to discover. Arx is rife with Divine Order grunts, though. If she's among them, they'll know where to look. Take care of yourself, Godwoken. They may not always be there to do it for you.
The statue reaches toward the sky, as though preparing to take flight. The bottom drops out from within you. She lifts you up, up, up.
I'm growing soft, aren't I?
Our lady's naught but kindling now. All we've got is each other. Not that I had any inkling of running off. Not when I'm so close to ending Justinia's plans once and for all. Death fog. I can barely breathe to think of it. Well, not really a ray of sunshine, am I? Come on, off to Mikhail Roz's estate. He'll know where Justinia is, presuming Lohar wasn't talking out of his far too ample arse. I've heard his name once or twice. He's in, how would you say, the import-export business. Old school royalist. The revolution's not exactly good for commerce, after all. I doubt he'll be drawing me a map direct to Justinia, if that's what you're hoping. Though you never know what I could convince him to do, given my winning personality.
Beast winks at you.
I can be a charmer when I want to be. You better. That's reassuring, actually. I can't say I know everything she's got planned, but I know she'll do anything she can to halt the revolution. Who knows how many lives she'd end to see it done?
Not the finest of landings, though I suppose our dear vessel did well enough, given it's not exactly in its natural habitat. At least I can still access all of my tools in the Hall of Echoes. I wouldn't relish the prospect of scouring through all this wreckage to find what I need. Why work, of course? Anathema won't restore itself, I dare say. I shall finish what I started, aboard whatever remains of the Lady Vengeance in the Hall of Echoes. Come and find me later in the Hall of Echoes. I believe I'm rather close to having Anathema in working order. Not the finest of... At least I can still access all of my tools in the Hall of Echoes. I wouldn't relish the prospect of scouring through all this wreckage to find... Come and find me later.
The final voyage of the Lady Vengeance. She served us well.
Well, looks like we're celebrating Lucian's Day with a shipwreck. Rest in pieces, my lady. It ain't over till the Hammer Lady sings. I'm pretty sure I heard someone say that once. There's also another lady on my mind, of course. Justinia. A reckoning's coming for her. And his name is Beast. So much for sounding cool. I've never been very good at coming up with a snappy catchphrase on the spot. Why don't you give it a try? Now I wish I hadn't asked.
Beast's slight smirk and slow wink tell you he meant his words in jest. Given all that's transpired, you find his jocularity comforting.
I didn't need to show any more to you than you've shown to me. Besides, the Order needs someone to lead them for the long haul. I don't need Divinity to do what's right for my people. In case you hadn't noticed, a Divine is a lot of things, but they're sure no free. And honestly, what kind of man would I be if I abandoned Divinity once I got what I wanted?
Well, well. We made it to the big smoke. Well, you know what I think? We need to find Lucian, without delay. Me? I'm fine. But you almost got yourself killed back there. You should be more careful. We can't afford to lose our leader. And I don't want to lose a friend. No need for thanks. You're still the natural choice.
Ifan claps you on the shoulder.
Please, speak. Last I heard, godhood awaits. If only we can wrest it from Dallas. First, we find her. Then, we roll for the greatest fate of them all. To be perfectly frank, yes. I only have to do what comes natural to me. Besides, these 7 weren't exactly angels. Even gods get their comeuppance. We stand warned, don't we? By all means. Like I want to keep exploring. Again, and again, and again. How about you? We've certainly made a splash, haven't we? Let no one say otherwise. Let's carry on. See how many history books we can make it into. We may even make it into Cranley Hubert's. Oh my. Someone in need of a lick and cuddle.
Her face is straight, but her eyes dance with mirth.
I don't think I can ever tire of hearing that.
She steps close to you and places a long hand on your cheek. Her great cat-like eyes peer into yours. She kisses you, biting your lower lip as she pulls away.
Don't think you've seen it all. I haven't even nibbled you yet.
There, in the harbor. The Kraken.
If it keeps showing up uninvited, it'll never make friends.
Did you hear? The big acorn has come, and it's chosen our forest. We are the chosen ones.
The big acorn has come! The prophecy has been fulfilled! Did you feel its power as it fell from the sky? Now that the big acorn is here, the squirrels will inherit the realm! Bow before me, slave!
More two legs. Why must you crowd our woods? Go be with your own kind. You two legs light fires in the woods. You make noise and mess. Go and be with your own kind. Leave me alone.
Death fog below.
You see the crash? The ship? Are they void-woken? Thank the gods. There are void-woken within the city. I fear they are outside it too. But it seems Lucian's spirit watches over us. We are spared. For now, do as we do. Stay far away from Arx until the trouble's clear.
Be here for Lucian's day.
You come to the city, I suppose. Like the rest of us. Whatever your purpose in Arx, you may be disappointed. I want to visit Lucian's shrine to find answers. But perhaps it is a fool's errand. I do not expect to hear his voice. But I meditate. I look upon his disciples. I take in his resting place. Perhaps the answers come. Peace, too. And perhaps not. This is the chance I take. Word comes that access is forbidden. There is fighting. I hear Magisters in white fighting the Paladins. And I hear a void-woken.
The woman's upper lip twitches, and her chest heaves with each god-fearing utterance to the heavens.
Lucian, I pray thee absolve my sins and find me worthy. The time of reckoning is upon us. The hall awaits only the chosen. May the death fog cleanse me as it cleanses the land and waters.
She shoots you a frenzied glance.
He has told me his plan. Lucian will not wash our sins away with water or fire, but with death fog. The true faithful will bathe in the fog of their own accord, and he will reward them with eternal bliss. It spreads even now, just below. I am ready to prove my loyalty.
She trails off, and her eyes flit upwards, as if listening to a voice only she can hear.
Oh, pure divine, who fills the seas and blesses the soil, welcome us into your embrace. Lead us into the freeing fog and see us home to the hall.
You all right, stranger? I heard a huge crash in the mountains earlier. Maybe thunder, maybe void-woken. Don't go wandering alone now. There's no telling what you'll find. White? Sure. Just before they lock the city gates. They say Dallis herself is inside the city walls. But I hear there's something up, too. Trouble between them and the Paladins. Of course, once the Voidwoken landed, that were the only thing on anyone's lips. Lucian's Day. Got a few prayers of my own that need answering. But these days, who don't?
She shoots you a questioning look, but resignation quickly wipes her face clean of curiosity.
I won't ask. Long as it weren't a Voidwoken, that's all I need to know. Well, settle in then. No point heading into the city. Gates are closed. Voidwoken. In the city. I never thought I'd see the day.
I must have breathed in some of that death fog. Oh, my lungs ache, and I can't see straight. My guts are on fire this morning. I'm dying. It must be the death fog. I'm sure of it.
The elderly woman pats the pilgrim on the shoulder and hands him a steaming bowl. A smile creases her face when she sees you waiting.
Oh, there, brave adventurer. Care for some soup to warm your bones?
Before you can say a word, she pushes a warm bowl into your hands. The distinctive aroma of pumpkin wafts up from it.
Ah, it does my heart good to see young ones fed, so it does. Sharing a hearty meal gives twice the joy. But sorry, I imagine you're not here for soup. Welcome to Four Sisters. Would you like to take a look at our sorceress sundries? You were, dearie? Can't say I'm always charmed by Demira's methods.
Her kindly eyes twinkle in the light of the cooking fire.
And did my sister make you pay full price for sorceress sundries? Well then, as is our family tradition, so shall I. Here goes. I always say, and how often I find, the more you take, the more you leave behind. What am I? Wonderful. The discount is yours. My, that's so... Lest I run out before all the pilgrims have had some supper. Tell you what, though, take this.
She fumbles in her apron pocket and hands you a many-folded piece of paper smeared with pumpkin.
It's the recipe. Now you can make your own whenever you like. Safe travels, dear.
Lucian will preserve you.
Goods for sale here. Any takers? Ah, hello. Please, if you're in need of supplies, now's the time to stock up. There's no telling where you'll find another trader, such as things are. You'll have to forgive my limited stock. The incident in the harbour was... well, I was lucky to escape with my life, much less anything to sell. Voidwoken. I was taking inventory of the stock I brought to sell in Arx when the harbour was suddenly overrun. It was horrible. Just beyond the harbour. Poor thing. She was too far off for me to help. She's surely dead by now. I hope it was swift, at least. She was human. Light skin and fair hair, with a blue flower tucked behind one ear. But her eyes... I didn't know humans could have such dark eyes. They seemed almost pure black. A trick of the light, perhaps. And it wasn't the time to linger for another look.
I can't believe that I made it all the way here just to get locked out of Arx. Never missed a Lucian's day in my life. Until now. You'll see why I'm sore. If you get to hear the endless prayer at the cathedral. I hope order's restored soon. It isn't the same, praying to the divine out here.
Lucian? Lucian.
Excuse me, have you word from the city? I heard the paladins inside have overthrown the Magisters. How can that be? And if it is, who's in charge of Fort Joy? My brother's just been sent there. I don't understand it. There's a prison here in Arx. Why send him so far away? I just need to plead his case. To Dallis herself, if I'm able. Or to whoever's in charge now. He's a sweet lad. He doesn't belong there. But I'll sort it out, that's for certain. I don't know. Maybe the Paladins have finally had enough of this clampdown. The Magisters will just go and lock up anybody. That wasn't Lucian's way, was it? Magisters or Paladins, whoever...
I came all the way from Driftwood, but I never expected to get stuck like this.
Another card?
Maybe I should have just stayed put in Driftwood. I can praise Lucian there just as well as I can in this bloody...
All that death fog. What a curse Lucian's day this is. What a curse.
I come for prayer, penitence. Instead, I find waste. Do you see anything?
Only fog.
Buck rabbits are stupid. They're jumping into the fog to impress the does, but I've yet to see any of them come back. Any rabbit stupid enough to run into that fog is no loss. The future of our species is looking brighter without them.
Something very bad has happened in the harbour.
Travel, they said. See all the wonders of the world, they said.
Prepare yourself.
ship. It's the Lord Dread.
Or what's left of the Lord Dread.
The figurehead takes the form of a sea dragon. At sea it danced on the waves. Now it seems to bow down, as if resigned to its own fiery death. The wood seems almost alive, not carved by a blade, but formed. The ship groans and trembles as the sea dragon wakes.
No more shall I dance on the ocean. The end is almost here. I carried the old ones. Vriedman, older than I, and Dallas, older than even the sea. I carried their army, soldiers with no souls, and the void followed them here, our last port of call. No longer shall I dance on the ocean. The end is almost here. Once I was young. I danced on the ocean year upon year. As I aged, my timbers were replaced, one by one, over and over. I am old now, but they are older. They disembarked in the night when we first arrived. When the monster attacked, they were long gone. With the old ones, I danced on the ocean. Vriedman made me strong, but his magic was dark. His magic was old. My strength ebbs away. My heart sinks. The end is almost here. Soon I shall reach the seabed. No more shall I dance on the ocean. The end is almost here.
Well, we made it.
Ifan claps you.
Any rabbit stupid enough...
The girl's spine suddenly arches back at an unnatural angle. A squeal of distress morphs into a deep, throaty chuckle. She straightens and looks at you. Her eyes are black.
She is ours. You will not speak to her. You cannot help her.
The girl squeezes her eyes shut and bows her head. Her own voice emerges, quavering with stress.
Can't do it. I can feel the sunlight and the air and
The laugh rises once more, and the girl lifts her head. Her gleeful eyes remain pitch black.
Fool! She is ours. Any strength is ours.
The girl's black eyes follow your gaze. Her lips curl into a fiendish grin. She lifts her hands and licks blood, not her own, off her fingertips.
We killed them with her little hands. We made her watch. We made her feel.
Her eyes clear for just a moment, showing a brief glimpse of the child within. Then the blackness fills them once again, and the demon hisses at you.
You give her hope. Good. It will make her spirit all the more delicious for us when she breaks. The child's purity cannot protect her forever. She cannot resist us. She is nothing. She doesn't even have a name. Fool, you're wasting your time.
A flicker of recognition crosses the girl's face before the demon regains control.
She whimpers for the creature. You twist the knife in well. She has nobody, only us.
The girl grimaces in concentration. Her fingers spasm. For just a moment, she extends all digits on one hand and two more on the other hand.
Her name is lost. Nothing. Soon she will be nothing.
A harsh, rattling laugh.
You put too much faith in the girl's spirit. She cannot resist us. You must seek to torment her too. Every time you draw near, she screams and pleads. The terror of the pure is beautiful. She cannot resist us. She is nothing. Run!
Can't have gone on after all this. I know you, or I've heard of you. I'm one of Lohar's, and you did us quite a good turn back in Driftwood. I thank you.
She casts her eyes over the wreck below the bridge.
After all that's happened, it does me good to see you here. My driver, my cart wolf. Look at 'em. And for what? Void woke 'em. Weren't anywhere near us, but old Max sniffed him out anyway. Got so spooked he pulled my carriage right off the bloody bridge. Pulled my driver off with him. I rolled out in time. Better stranded out here than stuck in a city with a void woken, I suppose. But they deserved better than this. It were a wedding. Event of the season over at Mikhail Ross's estate. We were going in place of our boss.
She looks over the wreckage with a grimace.
Lo'ard'd gnaw my ear off if he could see the shape his emissaries are in.
She gives you a sharp look.
I suppose you know a little something about a wedding. Isn't that right? Figured as much. I thought I might meet you here. But the wedding's all yours. I'm not leaving my dog or my driver here. We've been riding together, the three of us, must be 10 years now. After what happened in the caves, well, I ain't abandoning any more of mine to no kind of fate except the one they would have wanted. Good luck. I hope you're made of sterner stuff. I'll send word home. Don't worry. I'll send word. No sense hanging around here. If the Queen's anywhere, she's inside Arx. My driver. My...
What's this? I found something.
Here rests Maya Halliday, a devout and pious woman. She was taken too soon. Here rests Clyde Wellows, a devout follower of Lucy. Here lies a pilgrim, name unknown. She fell ill a few short steps from the city.
Seems the life expectancy of Magisters gets shorter and shorter.
Do not fall amid the fray, paladins! Face them to the last!
Woken, and they're cornered. Let's help finish them off.
As Voidwoken attacks go, you think that one was particularly devastating. Maybe finally...
Arcs fall.
You! I read about someone matching your description in the latest dispatch. And now there'll be another tale about you for our war owls to whistle across the four corners of Rivellon. You saved my best paladins by the skin of their teeth. The lads are brave, but they're no match for Voidwoken. Especially right off the back of chasing down Magisters. I tell you, they'll be chanting your name in the mess hall tonight. Of course. You whistled up a war owl to warn us about the Magisters, right? Lord Kem mobilized all us paladins against them that very hour. Could be worse. At least Arx is now under the control of Lord Kem. After your communique, he instigated investigations into every Magister in the city. We're sure it's the collusion between the Magisters and the Black Ring that drew the Voidwoken here. To think they blamed all sorcerers. The only question remaining is why. The Magisters have a lot to answer for. Those left alive, that is. Obviously.
She eyes you curiously, eyes narrowing in her hard face.
Are you serious? You won't find the leader of the Magisters walking in the open in Arx. This is Paladin territory now, but check in with Lord Kem. He's conducting an investigation of all the Magisters in the barracks. He might know something about her whereabouts. Take care. I doubt this is quite the city you were expecting to find. Void Slayer, head on in...
What's this? I found something.
What a massacre.
You killed the Voidwoken. This city needs more like you. I salute you, Monster Slayer. That a hero like you would arrive on Lucian's Day, well, it gives me hope. On Lucian's Day? You'd better believe it. City's a bit of a mess, it's fair to say, but the worst has passed. We'll have the place cleaned up in no time. Between the Voidwoken and the arrest of the Magisters, we've seen more than a few casualties, but the city herself is intact. We'll mourn our dead and rebuild. Arx persists. Seems the Magisters have been dicing with dark magic. You'd have them to thank if there were any left. Many fled. Those who didn't died or ended up in a cell.
She looks at you derisively and spits on the ground, close enough to your boot to make her point.
If she is, Lord Kem will want to know. Kem commands the city now. Well, we're glad you were here. Stay safe. You
You're a
killed
hell
the
of a warrior,
Voidwoken.
defeating the
This city needs
Voidwoken
more
like that.
like you.
Thanks for the service, Void Killer. My friend's alive and walking around because of...
You have my thanks, Monster Killer. We need all the help we can get. With the Magisters gone, this'll be the end of the Voidwoken attacks, I hope. When a sorcerer uses Source, the Voidwoken come, so they say. But the Magisters have been dealing in darker magic. The Voidwoken came, bigger and more deadly. But the Magisters are done now. Take care, friend.
People will be happy to see the likes of you here helping out, that's for sure. Heard you saved our lads' lives. My gratitude.
I heard old Alexander Look, about the Divinity we've chased halfway across the goddamn world. Entrusted to one person, I don't think it's a force for good. The gods themselves were corrupt, and even Lucian could fare no better than them. Not to mention his son Alexander, who the world's better off without. Even if you thought him worth sparing. Driven by fear, he took his father's power and used it to turn innocent sorcerers to silent monks in Fort Joy. And now here we are, like moths to a flame, not understanding that the fire will consume us. You know, when our journey started, I was a man without a purpose. I lost it in the death fog. But now, after everything we've been through together, I see what needs to be done. I say we end Divinity. I say we extinguish the flame and forget about a new divine ascending. No one person should have that power. Rivellon has suffered enough. Let's share the power with everyone. And then, let's all fight the void together. If the divine can take power, the divine must also be able to give power away. I don't know quite how just yet, but then, I'm not the divine. Yet. So what'll it be? Are you with me? Well, there's still time, but don't wait too long. Time has a habit of running out.
The paladin hocks a gob of spittle onto the burning corpses of silent monks. The saliva sizzles momentarily and is gone.
The silent bastards burn well, 'tis true. That they were. We don't burn friends in the street, nor enemies for that matter. But these things.
Once more, she spits on the burning corpses.
Stand clear of the flames there.
The paladin wistfully hums a tune. You recognize the air. Smoke gets in your hair. As he hums, the words come back to you. There's no smoke without fire. Dark the air. Nothing burns in rainfall, and smoke gets in your hair. He hums one last refrain of the song. There's no smoke without fire. Nothing burns in rainfall, and smoke gets in your hair. He trails away, falls silent. The flames crackle on.
If we're not careful, we'll burn the world. Watch him dance.
The spirit burns with rage at the carnage wrought on Arx. Rage for the Voidwoken, rage for the Magisters, and rage too for himself and his fellow paladins for failing to see the danger until it was too late.
The bastards burn well, I'll say that for them.
Those paladins will ruin Arx, mark my words. Nothing but a bunch of damn nobles playing soldier. Never thought I'd see things come to this in Arx, those bloody paladins.
Out of my way. Got any other talents besides getting in my way?
Where are the smells? I miss the smells.
A young man works at a canvas, mounted on an easel. Smears of what must be red paint are evident on his hands and clothing. He's oblivious, in a daze as he paints.
I didn't just see it, I witnessed it. Now I must preserve it upon canvas for the generations to come.
He nods, a faraway expression on his face.
The great schism of the Divine Order and the ruination of Arx. This will be my masterpiece. I usually only display completed works, but, well, this painting's raw power is already plain to see. Here, feast your eyes.
He gestures to the canvas. It's completely covered in the same shade of red, layer after layer. It's sodden, dripping onto the cobbles. The painter scoffs. He looks quite pale, you notice. Ill, perhaps. A drip of red falls from his sleeve to the cobbles.
You should open your mind. You would see so much more. Red is the only shade that matters. Life and death, true passion from within the artist.
He tugs back the sleeve of his tunic to reveal a blood-soaked cloth bandage around his wrist.
It was my father's technique. He was the finest painter of his generation, and he used his own blood for his masterwork. The final panel of The Sacrifice of Lucian. He was also quite the sorcerer. Magic-infused blood can be used to produce the most vivid effects, if you're skilled enough. For the most part, a copy can be seen at the Great Cathedral here in Arx. I visit frequently for inspiration, but the original panel, the one that my father used his blood to depict Lucian's final sacrifice, was given to Lord Kem a long time ago. He keeps it locked away somewhere in that mansion of his. A masterpiece like that should be on public display for all to see. Self-preservation is a petty concern. I must put the spiritual above the corporeal. I must finish.
The spirit of an older man observes the nearby painter. He tut-tuts to himself.
That poor boy is wasting his time, walking upon well... I thought I raised him better than that. Did you tell him what you thought of his little picture? Unfortunate, isn't it? He isn't without talent, but he never overcame the fact that he was my son. Of course, my finest work. I drew upon everything I had for that piece, all of my skills, my experience. Why, there's even my own blood and sauce on that canvas. They are part of a private collection now, Lord Kem's. Perhaps he'll grant you a viewing, but I doubt it. There's a reproduction on display at the cathedral. Not the same as viewing the original, of course, but it gives the great unwashed something to pray for. Of course I am. I painted the greatest works of art that Arx has ever seen. The Sacrifice of Lucian. My opinion is the only one that matters.
The statue looms over Arx, hands reaching as if trying to claw above the charnel stench. Though her eyes are blinded to the horrors at her feet, a single tear drips onto your face from beneath her blindfold. The tear is ice cold on your fingertips. You watch, but she cries no more.
Streets littered with corpses.
Poor creatures are better off dead.
Insolent wretch.
Please, you've got to help me. My wife, they want to kill her. She didn't do anything wrong. She was just trying to save lives, but no one will listen. You have to help, please. Of being a good person. Please, there's no time. They'll kill her. Go!
Will see justice in this world and the next. In Lucian...
The paladin looks up at you through a bruised and swollen eye. She spits a gob of blood on the cobbles before she speaks.
Come to see the show, stranger. I'm afraid you've missed most of the slaughter, but there's still blood to be spilled.
Step back from the prisoner. You are interrupting a paladin court, stranger.
You couldn't call this a court until the end of days, Kem. It's still a disgrace.
The prisoner will be silent. We are beyond accusations. This once paladin is guilty of refusing orders and protecting supporters of the Black Ring.
They were boys. Local boys that signed up for steady pay in a slick uniform. A couple of white traitors doesn't mean every Magister is in league with the Ring.
At best, you are a coward. At worst, you are a traitor. In either case, the sentence is death.
His icy eyes focus on you for the first time, pinning you with a freezing look.
Step aside, stranger. I see. You have my thanks for that. You did us a great service. Now, if you would do me one service more, stand aside. Perhaps there is some truth in that. Very well. She will not die today.
The paladin looks at you as Kem turns away and silently mouths thank you.
Find a cell for her. And the rest of you have your duties. Move!
Oh, by the Divine, thank you. I'll never forget this kindness. What is this? Am I dreaming? I went to my bunk after patrol duties, and now... this. I'll wake up in a minute. Winslow's snoring always wakes me. This can't be real. What? I don't know anything about the Black Ring. I must be dreaming. I have to be. I saw her enter the city with the Whites. Or did I? Did I dream it? Am I dreaming you?
still can't believe the Magisters were in cahoots with the Black Ring. But with the Reds slain and the Whites ousted, maybe now we can restore the Divine Order to its former glory. It might be if you quit preoccupying me. If Kem says we'll find something, then we'll find something, and that's that.
The Magisters fought with all the skill you would expect of peasants. Not that we were flawless. Of course, a victory is a victory, even if it comes at a cost. A few, but you could taste the Magisters' desperation. They even torched their own barracks to slow us down with the smoke. A lot of good that did, eh?
I still can't believe...
She sighs and gets back to work, combing through the rubble for evidence.
Not yet. If Lord Kem says to search, I'm go...
What do you think the Paladins would do to us if they heard you going wrong like that?
A lot of blood spilled. Not much to show for it so far. Lord Kem's in no mood for suffering fools. We had better find some sign of the Whites soon. Nothing! And Kem is getting restless. We've got to make something happen. And soon.
Your blood for my blood, scum. May your wounds never May you feel the pain of death tenfold.
Come on, damn you. Stop bleeding!
The paladin presses a wad of fresh bandages upon a steadily bleeding leg wound. For a moment, it seems to work, but then the bleeding suddenly gets worse.
Damn it! One of the Magisters didn't know when he was beaten. Drove a spear into my knee. He should have aimed higher, though. I didn't give him a chance to land a second blow.
Your blood for my blood, scum. May your wounds never heal. May you feel the pain of death tenfold.
My thanks. This is just what I need.
The potion takes effect, but then your ear catches the faintest sound of angry whispers, and the bleeding suddenly intensifies. The paladin claps her hand over the wound in an effort to stem the flow of blood.
What's going on? It looks like it's nearly stopped. Then it just starts again.
Your blood for my blood, scum. May your wounds never heal. May you feel the pain of death tenfold. Your blood for my blood, scum. May your wounds never...
The bleeding stopped. Thank you. Wait! No! It's starting again!
Scum. May your wounds never heal.
The paladin is still trying to... The spirit of a magister jabs a spectral finger into the paladin's wound, while muttering some profane-sounding curse. A look of rage floods the spirit's face. He opens his mouth to say something, but it's too late for words.
At last! Thank you. The wound's closed over. Thank you. Here, I found this on one of the Magisters. It looks valuable. Take it, with my thanks.
The spirit of a half-dressed magister stands before you, fumbling to draw his phantom blade from its sheath. The spirit manages to draw his sword and utter a challenge, though not one aimed at you.
Alarm! Sound the alarm! There's paladins attacking! Where are the Whites?
He starts to swipe and jab his sword at an unseen opponent.
If you see
any of the whites, then be sure to let us know. Capturing one of them might make this bloody farce worthwhile.
The battle mage looks fed up and frustrated, her hands balled into fists by her side.
The whites are long gone. They could be running right out of the sewers while we stand here gabbing. There's nothing to find. The whites torched the place. Whatever we might have found has gone up in smoke.
The rat skitters around your ankles in excitement.
You help me, mistress, please. These blue-cloaked beasts are keeping her locked in a cage underground. Please, Harry, she'll be grateful.
Nothing. Just more Magister rubbish.
Go below, see for yourself. She's a kind and wise mistress, but she needs help. Mistress is the most generous of mistresses. She'll give you anything she has if you help her, but please, hurry! They're holding mistress in the prison downstairs, asking her questions. She's locked in a cage of metal bars, but of magic as well.
The spirit of a magister lingers nearby, scowling at the damage that's been dealt to the premises.
Look at this! Just look at this! Our barracks ransacked by our own brothers in arms, and my sworn magister comrades murdered by them! The paladins just showed up, no notice, ready for a scrap. They claimed we were traitors and were plotting with the Black Ring. Lunatics, a lot of them. Are you mad? They're our sworn enemies. Whatever evidence the paladins think they have is false, and I hope my brethren make them choke on it. How would I know? She and those whites she surrounds herself with don't announce their plans like town criers. You can be sure of one thing, though. The paladins will never catch her scent. I got Brent out of here. He was wounded. He wouldn't have stood a chance if I hadn't helped. Hopefully some more made it as well. I came back to see if I could help any others, but I got a saber through the heart instead. Murdering blue bloods. The Void's welcome to the lot of them.
Not much bloody order in this place.
Bah, who knows? Fled, probably. One of them ordered that we fight to the last man and set this place alight, rather than let the paladins take it.
The spirit glances around again.
So much for that.
The spirit leans back to appraise you, a guarded look on his spectral features.
You're no paladin, but why should I tell you? Fine. Just check in on him for me, will you? There's a spot around the back, at the bottom of an embankment, where a culvert drains into the river. I lowered him down there, where the paladins likely wouldn't see him. He was bleeding like a stuck pig, though. I don't know if he made it.
What's this? I found something.
This fire was set on purpose.
The plaque reads, Purity of Mind.
Fools! They aren't looking in the right spot.
Magisters didn't want...
Careful now, that's a trap.